All right, so I'm just gonna go out and say it. This feels awkward.
It does.
We don't have what we used to have doing what it used to do. Thank you for moving my beverage.
Money.
Yeah, we getting money. Y'all notice it ain't no box right here, right? And the reason why, because it ain't no box right here, is because we bought some stuff,
Yeah.
right?
We got money and we spent money.
Faculty Lounge podcast money. So
Switch your laptop this way.
everybody that bought a sticker, gave a donation for a button pack, this one's for you. All right? So, welcome to the Faculty Lounge podcast, episode number
43.
43 of y'all. John J over here.
That was Scott.
Hey, man, let's get right to it. I want to ask you a question, man.
I want to give you an answer.
All right, so do you drink green beer on St. Patty's Day?
Oh, damn, man. I had a shirt to wear.
Okay,
Wear my shirt.
so you all in. So
No, I ain't all in.
what happened to what you were saying earlier? Tell them what you told me earlier
What?
about St. Patrick's Day.
About Chicago in general?
Yeah.
How you going to see all the Mexican, Irish people
Yep.
yesterday and today?
Yep.
And then 2 months from now, you're going to see all the Irish, Mexican people?
Yep.
With their sombreros and their tacos?
Oh, why though?
Because it's Chicago.
Uh-huh.
Like, we're not celebrating, other people's heritage just to do it. We're celebrating
Right.
our city's tradition.
So there's a method to this madness.
Yeah, like, I'm pretty sure. I know for a fact that Chicago has the biggest St. Patrick's Day celebration in the nation.
In the whole country.
Yeah,
Bigger than Boston?
yeah. Like, we dye the river green, and people come from around the world. People come from Ireland.
I mean, because Boston ain't got no river though.
People come from Ireland to see them dye the river green.
Bruh, I would like to know, because I think it's more Irish people in Boston than
I'm
in
telling
Chicago.
I'm telling you facts, bro.
Where you get these facts from?
Chicago, man.
All right, so look,
Man.
let me tell you my point of concern. So I'm out. I'm mixing it up. I'm in these streets.
In these streets, mixing it up.
I forget where I was on my way to, but I was riding down Milwaukee, right? Oh, I was on my way to Export. So I'm riding down Milwaukee. And I see, like, it was a pub crawl going on. They was starting early because this was like 11 o'clock.
Oh yeah.
They was lining up.
At 7.
Yeah, so they
Bars, that's how Chicago just gets. Bars open at 7 in the morning on St. Patrick's Day.
so they lined up outside the bar, right? Now this is at least 40 people, right?
Yeah, and them things cost money. Them bar crawls,
Yeah.
they cost money.
So I see white man, shamrock necklace, green pork pie hat. I see
Asian girlfriend.
no. I see white girl. Green pork pie hat, shamrock necklace. You know, this trend continues. Some people have their hair dyed and all of that. And then I see the brother with the shamrock necklace on and the pork pie green hat, right? Now, for the past 3-4 years, I may have been that guy, right? But now, all I could think when I see a black dude with all the shamrocks and shit on is, nigga, what about Wakanda?
So
Where was your kente cloth for Black History Month, Negro? Huh?
So that was my question. Hey, can you hear me in your headphones?
Yeah.
So that was my question. My question was,
What is your question?
yeah, I forgot what the question was, but I wanted to make a statement.
Okay.
And my statement was, newsflash, I Googled Black Irish.
Yeah.
What is Black Irish?
Black Irish is not black people.
Black Irish is not black people.
I know this.
Black Irish
Yep.
is an Irish person with like black hair
Yeah.
and brown eyes.
Yep.
That's what a Black Irish is.
So none of you blacks are Irish. And then I was like, okay. I looked up my so-called last name, my given name.
My given name.
And my given name is a Scotch-Irish name, right? But I'm like, that name was forced on me, man. I didn't have any, I wouldn't have had no choice one way or another, but I'm pretty sure somebody didn't have a choice when this name was given, right?
Yeah.
So it just leaves me feeling like, man, should I really be doing this, man? Like, don't get me wrong. I love drinking green beer just because I drink a lot of beer. So green is a change of pace. But should I be running around here buying Shamrock shakes and
I do like the Shamrock shake.
I've never had a Shamrock shake.
McDonald's got some good, very good milkshakes. I like McDonald's vanilla milkshake. Yeah.
So I don't want to sound like the cynic here, because it's like it's not a bigoted statement, but it can be taken as cynical. If you're black, should you be running around in full garb for St. Patrick's Day?
I mean, yes.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Oh, all right.
See, because I'm gonna say yes because it depends on where you're from. If you're from Chicago, if you're from Boston, then yeah, it's in the heritage. You know what I'm saying? You're representing your city, you're representing what you grew up around. You know,
right.
The police department in Chicago is Irish.
Right.
The fire department is Irish. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a known fact. You know, like
right.
Like same way motherfuckers, celebrate the Puerto Rican Day Parade and they be all in Humboldt Park. Everybody goes to Humboldt Park, and everybody goes to, the Taste of Chicago. Everybody goes to the Bud Billiken Day Parade, the St. Patrick's Day Parade, the Thanksgiving Parade.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like we celebrate it here in Chicago.
Yeah, I guess for me, it's just with everything we've been doing with the Black Don't Stop thing and really trying to get to the bottom of heritage and ancestry and all of that. It's like you think about the pedigree that we know the Irishmen for having towards black people.
Yeah, see, but it's not now. If you're in Arizona and there's 3 Irish people and 4 black people, then yeah, you're probably not celebrating St. Patrick's Day the way they celebrate it here in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
But you say, I get what you're saying, so it's all in fun in Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
Everybody's Irish. Just like everybody's Mexican on Cinco de Mayo. Cinco de Mayo ain't got shit to do with Mexico. Cinco de Mayo is a battle that the Mexican army helped the American army win against the Spanish army.
There was no war won. Yeah.
It was a battle.
See you with your Mesoamerican facts.
I get Chicago facts. If it pertains to Chicago in any way.
You goddamn right. I'm Chicago Fog. You should change your name to Chicago Facts.
I'm pretty sure there's the Chicago Facts out there.
I don't know. You got to spell it different. Nah, but yeah. So yeah, I don't want to make it seem like, man, I'm hating on people having a good time or whatever. But it's
all it is. It's just a good time.
Yeah, but with the Black Don't Stop thing and everything that we've been learning, it struck me.
I want to clarify the whole reason behind the whole Black Don't Stop thing. It's not to down anybody else.
See, that's what I'm saying. I'm not
only to up black people.
I'm not downing anybody, but what I'm saying is, in light of me finding out all of this stuff, I feel like I should do better there.
So now, what are you doing better? Are you shutting other customs out better? Like, what is it that you're doing better by not celebrating this holiday because it's not black?
I would say I'm focusing more on things that are, history and learning more about where I come from. And it's like, I feel like when we celebrate, customs from other cultures, right? It gives us more of that whole feeling to where we're not yearning as hard to find out what's ours. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we got that and we can celebrate that and ain't nobody gonna say nothing, right? But at the same time, they're not gonna help us find ours. Yeah. Just be happy with what's going on already.
Yeah, I feel that.
So that's where that comes from.
Level of comfort.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that you don't want to. Once you got that, you don't. Yeah.
Like once I learned it's something else, I don't want to get too comfortable with somebody else's.
Yeah, I feel like this is right after Black History Month.
Yeah.
This is the next big thing, and the next big thing just so happens to be the biggest celebration in Chicago.
And it's funny because, like I said, for the past 4 or 5 years, I'm shutting the bar down on St. Patrick's Day, right? Yeah. So imagine
right after Wakanda.
Imagine the feeling that I feel now when it hits me, and I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. It's like I'm betraying myself, right?
Yeah.
Like, by me not doing it, I have to convince myself that I'm not a racist. Like, what the fuck? No, I'm not a racist. I'm not Irish.
You just don't have time for that right now.
Yeah, like
it's a different thing. Like it's one thing to boycott the NFL, boycott Gucci, or boycott Prada and Montclair, and do all that. It's another thing to just not have time for something.
Yeah.
Like I'm not boycotting Gucci. I never had time for Gucci. I can't afford to.
Right, that was never on my list of things.
Yeah, so I'm not. I can't say I'm boycotting Gucci. I wasn't gonna go there anyway.
Right, that was never the plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but like St. Patrick's Day, you know, in Chicago, where you can go to any bar all across the city right now and get a beer on a Sunday at 2:00. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
You can anywhere in the city. It's cracking right now.
You know what I was thinking when I left out the crib on Saturday? I'm like, hell yeah, the bar's gonna be packed. This March Madness. Wakanda forever, man. Sheesh. Hey, I'm just trying to get some understanding, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get some understanding, you heard? It's The Rock. Holla. Nah, but yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
Like the cultural growth and just learning about these people and you know what I'm saying?
Because you know who I haven't seen.
Convincing yourself through the experiment that Black Don't Stop.
Mm-hmm. Like when you realize how much you don't know about yourself, and you find yourself celebrating with people that know everything about themselves.
Yeah.
It kind of makes you feel like a doofus.
Yeah.
Like I feel stupid because I don't know shit about my culture.
Yeah. But I can tell you.
I know what a Blarney Stone is.
What the fuck is a Blarney Stone?
Exactly. You should know what that is. What?
You see, I guess, all right, so this is my bias.
Not if you don't know what Coochie Chakalia means. Self-determination, baby.
See, so this is my bias, right? My grandfather is actually Irish. You know, he's from Pulaski, Tennessee. But both of his parents were born in Ireland. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I got a picture of me, like him holding me as a little 11-month-old baby. He passed away when I was 11 months old, so he was probably holding me when I was like 6 months old.
Yeah.
But I got a picture of this Irish man holding me.
You know, you did have a box of Lucky Charms back there. So I was wondering.
You know, and like I never met him. I mean, I met him. I got a picture with him, but you know, he passed away before I could.
You never had a conscious conversation with him.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
So I really don't know him. Growing up, I was like, I'm not white. I'm not white at all.
I'm not white. I'm EJ.
But the whole time, my grandfather is this Irish man. You know?
Yes. So you are white.
So I what you would call it, man. So
It don't matter how much.
My whole connection to St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
And why I'm like, yeah, it's okay to celebrate St. Patrick's Day.
But my connection to St. Patrick's Day might be a little bit darker.
Yeah.
No pun intended. Yeah, you know, you think about slavery and all of that and what exactly it encompassed, you know, and then you think about this name that ain't yours.
But I mean, Irish people weren't really white until like the 1900s, right?
But I mean, there was probably still like Irish slave owners, because how you end up with that name if you're an African descendant of slaves.
What if it's a great story?
That's what I'm saying. Like, you just don't know, man.
Yeah, like,
you just don't know.
What if the Irish McFaddens were actually a group of African travelers from Mali or Ghana somewhere?
Like, how we gonna blend in? We'll call ourselves McFadden.
Yeah. They were probably like Mafadim.
Don't be trying to rationalize this oppression. You try to rationalize my oppression. Stop it. I don't like that.
Nah, man.
I don't like it.
Nah, man, you weird.
I'm weird. Nah, but that brings me into a good segue point. So I was learning more. Speaking of African descendants of slaves, I was thinking about this whole reparations thing, right?
Yeah.
So we talked about this a little bit off camera.
I still got my same stance from last week.
What was your stance from last week?
So you don't watch the episodes.
No, I watched it. I just don't remember.
My stance is that as long as there's a prison industrial system, slavery is still going on.
Yeah.
So you can't have reparations for something that's not over yet.
Well, let's call it so-called reparations.
All right.
What's about to take place regarding descendants of slaves, so-called descendants of slaves in America, right? Oh, and even if I did watch the episodes, maybe they didn't. Yeah. So look, I was thinking about this. We don't know where we from. We were told that our ancestors are African, right? Now, there are many people that are melanated that believe that they are the indigenous people to this land. Like, we never came from anywhere because we was always here, right? Yeah. I believe I'm one of those people. Like I said, we don't know nothing, but that's what I believe. Because when I talk to my grandmas on both sides, and they show me the pictures and tell me the stories as far back as they go, the people that I see in these pictures look like the so-called Indians, right? So my white uncle comes to me with a check for $300,000 and say, man, here, this is for you because you're an African descendant of a slave. Am I going to say, no, I always been here? Or am I going to take that $300,000 and say, fuck what's really mine? And I think that's the whole plan. Fringe early. Yeah, man. Get everybody that look the same to say they from the same place so that this place won't have nothing to do with us no more.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, and it's such a devious plot because who living in poor, impoverished, gang-infested, drug-ridden neighborhoods gonna say no to a check for $300,000 just for being alive? Nobody, buddy. Nobody. 300,000. Imagine they came to your door with 300,000, and under the assumption that your ancestors are from Africa, but you have to say it.
So I have to agree to it to get the money.
Right. That's a condition of you accepting it. You accepting it is you acknowledging that your ancestry is African slaves.
Yeah, man. That's crazy.
That's crazy as hell, right? But it's crazy enough to work.
I mean, a lot of people have already accepted this reality.
That's what make it even easier.
Yeah.
Cause it's like you ever see you different from me because you got pictures of all of these people that go back to y'all native land.
Yeah.
Right? I don't. My pictures go back as far as like my great grandmother's mother, which looks like a so-called Indian woman.
See, like, I know, like, well, see, I ain't that different. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of white people in my family. You know what I'm saying? Like, my grandfather, you know what I'm saying? He was Irish. And then my grandmother's father, which was my great-grandfather, he was, like, English or some shit. You know what I'm saying? But then my grandmother's mother was Jamaican. You know what I'm saying? And then because he was a traveling businessman.
He was on blackpeoplemeet.com.
Yeah. So he came from England.
I think I need a bit of chocolate, love.
Matter of fact, his mother was like a native of like Barbados or some shit. Like she was like a real Taino Indian. You know what I'm saying? Like she got with a Englishman and had my grandmama. No. It's like,
see, man, it's all
European and native.
It shouldn't be this hard.
Yeah,
it should not be this difficult.
That's going back like 4 to 5 generations. You know what I'm saying? Like my great grandfather's mother was native, and his father was an Englishman.
See, and you know what's funny about that, right? If you did an Ancestry 365 or whatever it is, if you did one of them kits, it'll probably come back and say Sub-Saharan African or something like that, right? And that's like convincing you. Like, man, look, I'm going to tell you on paper, so when it's time, you just be like, yeah, the paper said it.
I mean, no, it's not convincing you. It's true, though. Like, we all have European and Sub-Saharan African in us.
I know that.
If you were born in America, chances are you have European and Sub-Saharan
I know that, but you see what I'm saying, right?
Especially if you're like 4th to 5th generation American.
But I'm saying you see the deception that I'm talking about.
Yeah, because I mean everybody has.
It's all mixed in now.
Like, I wonder what's the percentage of sub-Saharan African that you have to have in your DNA ancestry test to qualify for reparations.
Yeah.
Right.
See, and that's and
so you have 2 American parents and a fucking DNA test.
I don't see it. I would like to do a deep expose
probably,
on this shit.
That's probably what they're trying to get us to do is everybody get out there and get an ancestry test. Get everybody's DNA on file. Okay.
See, you came with that.
All right, you get a check.
Yeah.
You know.
See, and I just don't know, man.
To get everybody's DNA.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's fucked up because
a guy has already been convicted.
Yeah, you told me about it.
His sister went out and got a DNA test.
And ain't no and you think about a government. There is no altruism in government.
Nah.
Everything is for the
justice.
It's for the continuity of government. That's all it's for. Like everything the government does is so there'll be a government tomorrow.
I was watching the Muslim lady. What's her name? Iman.
Oh, the senator. She be wilding.
Yeah, she be going
hard. She be wilding.
These girls is going crazy, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the new class of senators, man.
Yeah.
Her and
AOC.
Yep. Ocasio-Cortez.
Yeah.
And you got her. You got
And let's not forget about Amanda Seals and what's the other one? These are pundits I'm talking about. They always on the Breakfast Club and all of that.
Senators. Senators are going in right now.
Yeah.
Like these girls are in there shaking shit up. But she was talking about damn, I straight forgot what we were talking about. But shouts out to the senators. She was man, what was she talking about?
I know we was talking about reparations.
Damn, man. I lost my train of thought, man.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right.
It's been a long week.
It has been a long week, man.
I got locked out of my job.
Yeah.
I'll tell you more about that later.
And I listened to R. Kelly this week, too.
Yeah, you guilty.
I admit it.
You feel so
hey, look, I admit. But look, I feel like if you from Chicago and you down with this whole you can't listen to R. Kelly shit no more, you should have been stopped listening to him 10, 12 years ago.
See, now, low-key, I did, though. Like, the last R. Kelly song that I really listened to was I'm a Flirt. Like, that was a jam. And then after I'm a Flirt came out, maybe 2-3 more years of Step in the Name of Love. And then I just, like, I didn't go looking for R. Kelly no more.
Well, I listened to everything. And I found myself listening to R. Kelly again. And it's so surreal because it's like, you hear him, we've been seeing him talk and yell on the interviews and shit, right? Then you hear him sing, and it's like, man, this nigga got some voodoo up in here or something. Because he called himself the Pied Piper, and when you listen to it, you fall back into that same trap.
Oh, man, Joe. So, I got to say it for them, man.
Say it for them.
I worked last night. I said it to you earlier, man.
Okay.
It hurts my soul to think this thought.
All right.
But what if R. Kelly was really promoting the after
Oh, yeah.
as a way to get the young girls in?
Oh.
Like, you're not 21, so you can't come to the club.
But
we ain't going to kick it at the
after party. Checking out 6 in the morning. Checking out.
If you ever been on vacation, you know checkout is at
11 o'clock. We gonna check out at 6 where can't nobody see me leaving with you because they gonna be asleep from the after party.
Yeah. That's so bad.
That's nasty, man.
That's nasty, man.
That's very nasty. He should be ashamed of himself.
He probably is now. Well, he probably isn't, though.
I was about to say, if you're dealing with a sociopath of that nature, he don't even know you're doing nothing wrong. I think everything R. Kelly said in that interview with Gayle King is what he believes to be true.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like, he ain't did nothing wrong.
To him.
Like, man, they sold their daughter to me. I ain't wrong for buying her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Shaq. Who is Shaq? No, Shaq ain't Isaac Hayes.
Richard Roundtree.
Yeah. Isaac Hayes, though, he's the one he's the king of the
Isaac Hayes is dead.
He just passed away a couple years ago, right?
Nah, he died a few years, more than a couple.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Isaac Hayes died. Yeah. It's been a while.
But he had a whatchamacallit.
Mm-hmm.
He had a tribe in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Like he actually was the king of a tribe in Africa. You know, he had all his women, and it was all set up. And he had his children, and they was the tribe. He was a king of a tribe.
Mm-hmm. That's Black Don't Stop.
Yeah, man. Like R. Kelly was supposed to get there before he started pissing on 14-year-olds.
Before he weirded out. Yeah. Well,
I've been watching this show, Murders at Bar Loung.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's an Italian show. I like Italian dramas. Man.
Come on, man, with the Italian. They ain't even speaking English.
I know, man.
And you don't speak Italian.
Hey, man, I feel like I know what they're saying. I've been reading the subtitles.
Never, man.
I read pretty fast.
So look, let's talk about how inactive you are on Instagram.
All right.
So you didn't even know that IG was out.
No, see, it was out when I'm asleep.
So you didn't know it was out.
I work overnight, so at the time the IG was out was just the time of the day that I really don't be going on IG.
So when it was out,
I was asleep.
So when it was out, you didn't know it was out.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to know. So you didn't know it was out at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until I seen it like the next day, people was all sorts of and shit on Twitter and shit.
So that made me think. That made me think real good, right? I thought about this shit, right? Everything that people have, all their connections, like pretty much your phone book for the people outside of your immediate circle and numbers that you don't want to remember, but you need them, are in your phone and on Instagram, right?
On Instagram or just?
Well, I mean, as far as like me, for social media purposes, the majority of people that don't have my phone number, I communicate with them on Instagram, right? Imagine if they deliberately shut off Instagram and they deliberately shut off all the 4G networks. Like, bruh, that's crazy. It was people actually going through something because Instagram was out.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, like.
He died in 2008?
Yeah, I told you Isaac Hayes been gone for a while.
Damn.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's Sleepy Brown real daddy.
I don't know, man. Sleepy Brown look like he don't play. I don't want no problems. You know, R&B singers crazy anyway.
Yeah.
So look, right? Bam. They shut IG down. And if you think about it, in Instagram's existence, has it ever been like this?
Well, no, yeah. Before it shut down a couple times.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Like it has this time, though.
But not like this. Like this time was like a long one, I guess. It was like a couple hours.
No, it was a couple days.
Oh, it was a couple days?
Like the Faculty Lounge page was down for 2 days. My page was down for a day.
You know, maybe I did notice that my shit wouldn't refresh.
Mm-hmm.
But I lived my life. Like, I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, Instagram ain't working. Oh, okay. Put my phone back in my pocket and go back to living on Earth.
See,
that's exactly what I did.
See, and that's a hell of a statement to make, because it's people out here that depend on Instagram like people depend on Twitter for the news.
Yeah. I see that. You know what I'm saying?
Like
that pisses me off sometimes when the internet's down, or maybe I guess it's when Twitter's down.
And we
because
can't.
When it says this tweet's unavailable or this photo's unavailable.
The scariest thought is we can't control whether it's up or not, and we don't know what it's down means.
You know, I don't know, man. I got a very small circle, and like I wish I knew more people, and I was like closer to more people. But how my life is set up right now, if all this shit go down tomorrow, I'm still gonna talk to everybody I need to talk to.
See, you can't say that. You can't say that because you're only looking at it from your side. You're not looking at it from those people's side.
No, like I don't contact anybody. Like I don't have any business.
No, I'm talking about day-to-day dealings with people. Like how you gonna eat?
Yeah, like I'm saying, like
if the internet go out.
Yeah, like all the people that I need, I communicate with off the internet.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about this grocery store that communicates over a digital network to get their produce into their store. That's what the bigger implication of all of this shit going down and us not having no control over it or any knowledge on how to fix it or what broke it in the first place.
Yeah.
Like we are totally dumb to everything that we need.
I'm sorry, y'all. So we got this new setup today.
You shook the headphones?
Yeah. And it just shook the whole camera. The whole camera just went.
Oh, that'd be all right.
So yeah.
They done seen our podcast do worse things.
Hey, but y'all know this new setup though.
Yeah, man, we looking good. Black wall.
He ain't got no left arm.
I don't.
Okay.
It cut off. But that's all right though. Left arms disappear all the time, B.
All the time.
Yeah, but you know, it's a lot of stuff mounting up right now, and it's scaring me, man.
See, that's exactly what it's designed to do. It's designed to scare the shit out of you.
But being scared is good. The bad thing is being scared and not doing anything to calm your fears.
I guess if you want to get poetic.
Fear can be the motivator. You scared that something gonna happen, so you get ready.
Yeah, I guess you get ready, so you ain't gotta be ready, so you ain't gotta get ready.
Like most people never learn how to take a punch until after getting punched.
That's how you learn how to take a punch.
Exactamundo. So you got to be scared of something to figure out what to do if that something should come about.
Yeah, see, now, I don't know where I'm going with this.
Okay.
This is what I was thinking about, the fear of the unknown. You know, like the fear of the unknown never goes away.
Yeah.
The only thing that happens is you go through it, you experience it, so it's not unknown anymore.
But you still fear it.
So no, you still fear the unknown. Just that one thing
that's not unknown anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as far as it's an infinite universe.
Yeah, the fear of the unknown never goes away.
Yeah.
It's just you have to learn things one by one to keep it moving. You know, like to make more things known.
Well, I mean, that's why they say knowledge is power, because you empower yourself with learning.
Yeah, and you're not scared of that anymore. You're still scared of the unknown. You still fear the unknown, but that's not unknown anymore.
Yeah.
Know? But I mean, fear is what they use to control society. You know?
See, that's for a certain group of people.
It's not for a certain group of people.
I'm telling
everybody.
It goes back to what I was saying.
Like,
if your fear,
out here doing yoga and eating raw vegetables and drinking water. And
see, you overthinking that shit, bro.
Like your vibration is being controlled by radioactive.
What I'm saying is, just like people were scared in the 50s and 60s, there was people who wasn't. Yeah. They had fear, but they wasn't scared. That fear made them go and get themselves ready for when the fear comes to them.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
What they're afraid of.
Right, like Mike Tyson said, he was scared every time he walked to the ring. And he got in that bitch and whooped ass because he prepared himself to deal with his fear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, man. I mean, shit.
But I mean,
they can.
But everybody fears something. Like there's nobody out there that's not living in fear of something.
I think that's just the nature of being alive.
Yeah.
Because
life is fucking scary.
Like we don't understand anything.
Yeah.
Like, man.
So that's what I was.
Do you know why fingers fing?
Are you ready to go fringy? See, so I was thinking, what if, right?
Let's fringe. I'm ready.
What if there was other species of humans? You know what I'm saying? Like, there was the Homo habilis and the Homo erectus and the Homo sapien. But then there was other homos. You know what I'm saying?
There's always been other homos, man. What are you talking about?
You know, and they were able to do things.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I was thinking. What if there was actually a smarter species of humans?
What if you stop shaking your headphones? I mean, your mic cord.
Yeah, I already apologized for it. I ain't gonna apologize again. But you cut me off and I lost my train of thought.
I'm sorry, man.
Like, what if there was other human species out there that were able to do things we're not able to do? Like all the shit that we don't understand. What if they understood this bit and this other species understood this bit? But we understood you hit the lion with a rock, the lion doesn't eat you. You know what I'm saying? So they were actually building pyramids out of kinetic energy and moving molecules and shit. And they were just doing that, not even knowing what they was doing.
I don't think so.
You know, and then we just killed them off because survival of the fittest.
I don't think so. Let me tell you why. It's, I'm using your logic here. When you talk about nothing ever changes like that, it's all a gradual evolution.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm thinking that as things change, it changes on a broad scale. Yeah. So it won't be people that know a whole totally different thing that we don't know until we already all the way phased out. Like we just gonna cohabitate until they pass us.
Like we came from different places. You know what I'm saying? Like these people came from over here in this tropical place. These people came from this cold place.
Oh, you just talking about common knowledge.
Yeah.
So I know how to fish because I live by the water.
Yeah. Like the application of the common knowledge led to tools that led to realizations of other things.
Well,
like you have fisherman tools. I have mound builder tools.
I have tree chopping tools.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Chop trees.
And once you have tools and it makes the job easier, you learn different aspects of the work. And then you have time to do other shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now you got free time and a bunch of chopped wood. I got free time and a boat. They got free time and that over there. So, you know, you teach your generations with the education with the knowledge that you have, you educate the kids, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, so what if there was actually a race of humans that was more advanced than us 50 to 75 to 100,000 years ago? And they, it was just stronger. We was more barbaric. And we killed them off.
I don't know. I just don't think. I don't know if humanity worked that way, but that's very interesting.
I mean, that's like anything. Like, there's still black rhinos out there, ain't no more white rhinos.
I mean, the unique ones are in very low quantity.
There's no dodo birds. You know what I'm saying? There's
that's
a lot
like
of animals that have gone extinct.
That's a whole different species, though.
I mean, but there's a lot of animals. There's a lot of mammals that have gone extinct. There's a lot of what are we? Sapiens, the monkeys. What are monkeys called?
What?
Monkeys, gorillas, humans. What's that group called?
Sapiens.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
Okay.
That's another word I'm looking for.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But look, all right. I don't know what we were just talking about, but I kind of do.
All right.
So I just think that societies grow and change in different ways. I do think that at times we have people that are exceptional and unique in their time, but I think those groups are the ones that are extremely marginalized. That's what I think. So while we would have this group of people that were unique and different, I don't think that they would be as standoutish because it's so few of them, and we all know how the mob work. You know what I'm saying? So
maybe that's like more of a Sasquatch thing. Like they're few and far between.
Yeah.
But they know how to stay away from the mob.
Bigfoot theory.
Yeah.
Right.
They know they can maneuver.
Now that's how I think it is.
There's 7 billion of us.
Yeah.
There's only 25 of them.
Right.
But they're not
like it's 2,500 Bigfoots. That sound like a lot, but compared to the 7 billion people, you'll never see a Sasquatch. Most people will never see one.
Because they, you know what I'm saying? Because they understand that they need to stay away from the mob. You know?
So
it's just another sapien group. It's not the word I'm looking for.
So look, right? I wanted to ask you, first of all, I guess
the point is you don't need Instagram to live.
Oh, yeah, I believe that. But, you know, the more it go back to that machine conversation we was having, the more you put yourself in those shoes, it's like you paying the machines to deprive you. At the end of the day, without this machine, it makes life harder for you. The more you give to that system.
Now, is the system capitalism? I keep hitting this. Every time I hit this thing right here, it shakes.
I mean, everything is for capitalism. And that, look.
Because the system, man, you got me smoking cigarettes and shit.
I mean,
it's St. Patrick's Day. I've been drinking.
I want to ask you about, speaking of capitalism, you came right into it. And this is what I wanted to ask you, right? Now, before we get into this, let's say a rest in peace to the people in New Zealand that were gunned down
Yeah.
by this monster.
Yeah. See now, I guess I'm gonna take it back to Black Don't Stop.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying this is a point where I want to say that so Black Don't Stop is not about hating other people.
Mm-hmm.
It's about big up in black people.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess is this black supremacy? Would you call that black supremacy? Oh no, it's a black awakening. You know,
What you talking about? A black awakening?
I guess what I'm trying to say is Black Don't Stop is not a black supremacist group. We're just trying to wake black people up. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, we're all pro-black. It's fuck the NFL. You know what I'm saying? I stand with Kaepernick.
Mm-hmm.
I know what I'm saying. I want to shop black. I want to go to all the black stores in Chicago and the brown stores and support the people of color out here doing their thing. And I want to big up people and I want to connect Belizeans with Cubans, with Americans, with Canadians, with Germans, all the black people around the world. I want them all together and to know that they're all the same people. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to kill white people because I want black people to connect with each other.
Yeah, that's right. That's a
right, and that's what this is. This
mm-hmm.
white supremacy shit. This whole shooting up mosques and black churches and going in other people's communities and destroying them. You know what I'm saying? That is not what I'm about. You know what I'm saying? At all. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's sick. It's sick to think that I need this planet all to myself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you can't be here with me. If I'm going to be peaceful, you need to be gone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, that's stupid.
So my question to you would
like
be:
R. Kelly right now. That's stupid. Y'all.
Use your common sense.
That's stupid.
All right. So my question to you, because we had a really heated debate a long time ago. I think this was episode 5 or 6.
Damn.
It was great, man. We were talking about, you know, the real cause of like mass shootings and things like that in America. And you came to a conclusion that capitalism is the motivating factor for all of these types of attacks in this country.
This ain't capitalism, though.
That's what I wanted to ask you. What is this?
This is.
Is this nationalism?
This is. Oh.
What is it? Come on, man.
This is mega.
Make Europe great again?
Make Earth great again.
Make Earth great again.
Wow.
That's scary, man.
Mega is the new white
But
supremacy.
that couldn't be right because make Earth great again, that means there's no white people. What do you mean?
That's what make America great again means. America was last great in 1491.
Oh, man.
Because in 1493, Columbus said...
That's when he hit the shore. Yep, that's when he hit the shore.
Yeah, so yeah. Mega. That's like, this is America's culture. Again, this is American culture.
So you think this is a byproduct
on a global level
of a capitalist system because that's the culture of America.
Yeah.
So this is capitalism.
This is American culture being shipped off. How the Steaky Leg and the Millie Rock, fucking was Soulja Boy got to dance on Fortnite, or the dude from Scrubs got to dance on Fortnite.
Talking about the Crank That, yeah.
Yeah. You know
all of their dances are on Fortnite.
Yeah, all that shit.
So look,
you know what I'm saying, this is American pop culture. What's popular culture right now? MAGA.
So
you know what I'm saying? Like
at the
America
beginning,
is shipping off pop culture, and yeah, it has worldwide effects.
So at the beginning, you said that this wasn't capitalism. Now it sounds like it is.
Now, I don't think it's for money though. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why. I mean, well, it's for capitalism because it's America shipping off their pop culture. This is American pop culture. That's what it is. But at the same time, it's white supremacy. But white supremacy still falls under the category of American pop culture.
Yeah, like you always gonna see when you have pop music, popular music, you're always gonna have a young white girl.
It's not music. This is
No. I'm just saying, as far as
my ears.
the most common term used with the word popular that I'm familiar with is pop music. And in pop music, we always see a white girl, right? Yeah. Whether it's Britney Spears, whether it's Madonna, whether it's Taylor Swift.
No. We're talking about American pop culture. So we're talking about shit that's famous among American. Like, you know, it's American pop culture. Nelly, Hot in Here.
Taylor Swift is American pop culture. Like, what do you mean?
Like, there's a lot of, but it's not just all white. You know what I'm saying? Like, Bad Bunny is American.
No, I'm saying that white is that constant.
No. All right. So what I'm saying is that, all right, out of pop music, yeah, you're right. When it comes to pop music, yes. You know what I'm saying?
There will always be a white pop megastar.
Like, as far as baggy jeans, first down jackets, FUBU, you know what I'm saying? Jordans, and then the whole chunky gym shoe thing. Mm-hmm. Americans wasn't buying chunky ass Balenciagas. Nobody would. You know what I'm saying?
So you're talking about a subgroup, though.
I'm talking about American pop culture. You know what I'm saying? From fashion to art to like street art, streetwear. You know what I'm saying? Like what we do in the streets of America.
I kind of feel like that's a subgenre of what American popular culture really is.
So what is American popular culture to you?
So American popular culture to me would be Taylor Swift. American pop culture would be the man on the front of the GQ magazine that we was looking at. Right. That's American popular culture. Like the movie that wins Best Picture at the Oscars that none of the people you know have seen. That's American popular culture.
All right. See, you're talking about like media.
I'm talking about what the majority of Americans subscribe to. The majority.
Yeah. See, now you're only speaking on media though. Like I'm talking about like everything from fucking Ford pickup trucks to hamburgers to rap dances to European fashion worn a certain way to
see, but that's what I'm saying. Like
American pop culture.
The way that the bag that you're putting it in.
Colloquialisms.
Right, the colloquialisms that you're using is for a subgroup that's smaller than the majority.
No,
like when you say rap dances and wearing European fashion a certain way.
And hamburgers and pickup trucks.
Yeah, but you associating a bunch of different things into one thing, and it's not.
It's popular. It's popular among different groups. Like it's popular among Americans. Anything that's popular amongst Americans is American popular culture.
But see, that's what I'm saying. Like what's popular to me as an American is not the same
to another American.
Yeah. So
all American.
That's what I'm saying. But when you say popular, you have to go with the majority because what does popular mean?
No. See, what I'm saying is like F-150s are popular in America. You know what I'm saying? Apple pie is popular in America. Mm-hmm. Jordan 11s are popular in America.
See, but when you say Jordan 11, are you speaking to the majority of Americans?
Yeah, everybody knows what a Jordan. Well, I would say 50+1% of America knows what
more than people who know what F-150 and apple pie.
I mean,
I don't think that's true.
Or like dabbing. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Now there you go, because everybody's doing it because it's emotion. But when you talk about things like rap dances and wearing your clothes wrong.
Rap dances are Fortnite. You know what I'm saying? That's American pop culture.
Yeah, but that's Fortnite. They don't know it for being rap dances. They know it for being Fortnite dances.
But I mean, it is what I'm talking about, like the origin of what people know as popular culture. You know what I'm saying? Whether they know it's
so Fortnite. So you're saying Fortnite is popular culture?
No, that dance on Fortnite that everybody's doing is popular.
Bro, you don't see what I'm saying? They wouldn't know about the dance unless it was Fortnite.
Exactly.
So Fortnite is the popular culture.
But they know about the dance. Like they're not doing Fortnite. They're going home and playing Fortnite.
So the people
at school doing the dance.
So look, if the dude that made the Millie Rock, 2 Millie, died tomorrow, do you think people on Fortnite would be like, rest in peace, 2 Millie? They don't know where that dance came from. All they know is Fortnite.
But they're doing the dance.
Don't matter.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't, man.
Oh my God. How does it?
So look, we all know Chuck Berry invented rock and roll, right? Do you think Elvis Presley fans gave a fuck when Chuck Berry died?
Right. So look, this is what I'm saying. Trump said, "I'm gonna make America great again," and he put on a red MAGA hat, and then the red MAGA hat took on a life of its own. You know what I'm saying? Now the red MAGA hat stands for more than just Donald Trump's presidency. It stands for white supremacy. You know what I'm saying? So now the red MAGA hat, no matter where it comes from, it is a symbol of this action. You know what I'm saying? So now, no matter where you carry out this action, it's a white person in a mosque in New Zealand. It's a white person in a school in England. You know what I'm saying? If they say it's from white supremacy, as an American, the first thing you're going to think of is the MAGA hat. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter. Donald Trump didn't tell the guy in New Zealand to shoot up the mosque. You know what I'm saying? The feelings stirred up by the red hat with the white words on it is what motivated. You know what I'm saying? Well, maybe not even motivated, but it brought to light. You know what I'm saying?
Right, and that's the same thing I was saying.
The actions.
I don't know where we hit the miscommunication, but that's exactly the same thing I was saying. So you think that...
Because I'm not saying that, just how I'm not saying that motherfuckers ain't going to be like R.I.P. 2 Millie. Motherfuckers ain't going to be like Donald Trump told me. Because Donald Trump didn't tell you to do it.
Right,
it was a red MAGA
and
hat.
See, that's what I'm saying.
The red MAGA hat is Fortnite.
That's what I'm saying. So the MAGA hat is popular culture.
Yeah.
Not Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Just like Fortnite is popular culture, not 2 Millie.
Yeah.
So we saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess it's the feeling. You know what I'm saying? It's the feeling of being equal to popular culture.
So you think this mosque shooting was a white supremacist that was trying to make his stance equal to that of what the red hat stands for?
Yeah. Or he was doing it for the love of the red hat. You know what I'm saying? For the love of the ideals of the red hat.
I wish I had more information.
You know?
Yeah. But in any event, man, this is yet another event that's being misconstrued into the wrong kind of solutions. Like what I see when we see mass shootings is people trying to put Band-Aids on bullet wounds. No pun intended. Yeah. So when somebody goes crazy and shoots a bunch of people, it's time to change the gun law. And that's what I never understood. Because where we from, don't nobody that's trying to do you no wrong care about no damn law.
Yeah.
And it's always a way to get a gun.
Yeah.
As long as there's a way for guns to be bought, there's going to be a way for a gun to be sold.
And if I'm not mistaken, New Zealand is connected to America.
Man, look. I just think that, you know, it sickens me to see the popular media take it to the places that they have, because they're not even talking about the real situation here. All I seen was
Nova Scotia. It was Nova Scotia.
Who was that? The Prime Minister of New Zealand? Well, some lady. I don't know what her position was.
Australia, right?
She went on the news and said, "Oh, now New Zealand's gun laws will change." Like that's supposed to fix the situation.
Christchurch. There's a city called Christchurch and a city called Queenstown.
Like, bro, what is that supposed to fix?
Yeah. Laws.
Laws don't.
Laws only affect law-abiding citizens.
Right, and laws don't affect morality. Like, we never seen a situation where injustice was corrected by laws.
Yeah, man.
Like, when was slavery over? When was the Emancipation Proclamation signed?
This 1863.
Yeah, look how long it took.
Yeah,
and it still ain't right.
It was 1861.
I think it was 1863.
I thought so. I think so.
Yeah, but you know, it's just deep, man, and I feel so sad for the victims of this crime, man, for the people to be using it in vain for, you know, something that's not gonna solve the problem of people hurting people.
Yeah, man, and man, it goes back to the senator. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like a Jewish versus Islamic war.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And America has chosen the side of, you know what I'm saying, Israel. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So everything Islamic has to be bad. You know what I'm saying?
Who said that? AOC? No. Oh, yeah. I don't know her name, but I know you're talking about. Yeah,
Iman.
right. Yeah, they trying to, man, she been saying a lot of things that people don't like.
She was saying, how can this government fight for this other people on behalf of us that voted them in office?
Yeah.
And like, why are we fighting to protect Israel when we're the American government voted in by the American people?
See, and that's what was bothering me when old girl from the Washington Post went on Rogan. And she was talking about the Israelis' occupation of Palestine. Yeah. And it's like, nobody can make this connection between oppressed people when it comes to this. And it's like, that's the scariest shit in the world. Because you basically have a group that's so powerful that nothing moves until they say it moves.
Yeah, and if you go behind their back, they're going to blackball you.
Yeah. Like, man, the slavery of the slavery in the traditional sense of the African is over, but yet we still seeing the same type of oppression, and it's being justified on a level that can't be overridden. Yeah,
and it's baffling to me.
That's a great word. It's baffling.
I talk to people and they don't see my point of view, and they give me their point of view, and I'm like, bro, you're giving me water and I'm giving you hot sauce.
Yeah.
Like, you can't swallow everything I'm giving you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you're giving me water.
It's just like
this. Like, I'm giving you hot take after hot take, and you're literally just like, no, but this happened.
So is it pride or?
But this happened in the 50s. But this happened for 150 years.
I don't know.
This happened for 10 years.
Yeah, it's like two wrongs. They trying to make two wrongs make a right.
And then, well, this happened in the 50s, and this happened 6,000 years ago. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we're like, well, this happened, and it's still going on.
Yep.
But that's the thing, though. It's like, this is still going on. So, and everybody knows that it's still going on. And that's what people are keeping quiet. Black people are like, we're free. And everybody else is like,
no, you're not.
You know?
Yeah.
And they're treating us like, no, you're not.
Yeah, so you can go ahead and
you keep fighting for your freedom, but you're not free, bro.
You're never gonna get it.
Like that's what the whole Black Don't Stop is. Like, Black Don't Stop is like, okay, I saw some video on Facebook that said black people make up like 90% of the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just some crazy, astonishing number that there's like more black people in every country than any other kind of person. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So like, there's countries that are all black, and then in the highly populated white people countries, in the Spaniard and the European and the Asian countries, there's still a black population.
Yeah.
In every country in the world. You know what I'm saying? And motherfuckers just need to come together. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we all came together and realized, hey, let the little guy do it. Like, if we all came together, then the little guy would really be the little guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the little guy could actually do it. Capitalism would work.
The little guy puts himself in a position to never be the little guy.
You know what I'm saying? But that's why shit doesn't work the way it's supposed to work right now.
Right.
It's because there's a small group of people in power, in charge of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if everybody was in power of their self, if everybody was in control of their own destiny, their own thing, no limitations. Like, I don't have to do this for the money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I can go out, I can be the gardener that I want to be, or I can be the landscaper. Like, you're gonna give me carrots because I cut your grass.
See, that's scary how you sound.
You know what I'm saying? This because I do this for you. We're gonna barter our services for each other. You know what I'm saying? And there's not like money does this. Like, money is sweat. Money, because money has always equal sweat. You know what I'm saying?
That sounds like what they trying to do. I think his name is Ching, the dude running for president, talking about a universal basic income.
I don't even know. I've heard the term. I don't know what it means.
That means that as jobs get outmoded, right, you're not going to be able to get another job.
Yeah,
so
because there's already a computer doing that other job.
Right. So to compensate for that, you'll get like $12,000 a year from the government.
Yeah. And that's supposed to feed you, clothe you.
That's supposed to give you money to compensate for your job being gone so you can create your own business where you're a sculptor or you grow herbs and you can live by the barter system.
Yeah.
While capitalism's still going on.
Wow, capitalism still. I mean, that's that sounds kind of cool. Like
in theory,
as if it's a gateway out of capitalism.
In theory, but shit,
but I don't know. The way they're talking about it's gonna be trillionaires in the next 50 years.
Yeah.
Yo, that $12,000 is like a slave pension.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's what we coming up on, and that's what scares me, man, because we got all this progressivism going on in the midst of, shit about to get real drastic. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got all these people in political parties saying that they here to help the disenfranchised and the poor people, but ain't none of them talking about how if you work a job that requires no skill, you're not going to have a job in the next 20 years.
So is that why we celebrate Nipsey Hussle?
Yeah.
Is he like one of the last ones to make it out?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly why.
You got guys like Kendrick Lamar and Schoolboy Q. I'm talking about all these California people. But you know what I'm saying? Like, Kendrick Lamar has enough money. Like you heard his beginning raps, and then you hear his raps nowadays, and he's like, take my rich ass to a country I like in 4 days and bring my rich ass back home. You know what I'm saying? Like, he has enough money to do that. And you got Schoolboy Q who has enough money to, like, make sure his daughter goes to college if she wants to.
I mean,
and then you got a motherfucker like Nipsey Hussle who just bought the plaza that his first store was in, and he got all these apartments for rent, and he's about to build a mall. You know what I'm saying? And
I think the more impressive point about Nipsey and the reason why he celebrated so much is that in the midst of this culture of streaming, digital media streaming, he found a way to get rich and make his money.
Yeah, he sold $1,000.
Yeah, CDs.
If y'all want to burn these, y'all can sell them to whoever y'all want to sell them to. But I'm only selling 100 people $1,000 CDs.
Selling masters.
Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, but shit. So yeah, I think we're almost out of time, man. But I really feel like this mosque shooting is gonna set the stage for something much larger, man. And it's not because of the people who died, man.
Was that the only thing we talked about that was on the list this week?
I think so, but I mean, it's the nature of conversation. We talked about the IG blackout, and we talked about
We didn't talk about the admission scandal. We didn't talk about.
Well, I mean, it ain't too much to say about the admission scandal.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace to the people who died on the Ethiopian flight.
Oh yeah,
in that Boeing 737
yeah.
8. I don't even remember.
Right, it was the jumbo. It was the big one. Yeah.
737. Yeah, man.
So I also
people from 135 passports from 135 different countries were confiscated on that. Well, not confiscated, but found in the rubble.
So that's gonna be something. Alex Trebek just came out and said he had stage 4 cancer.
Yeah.
Man, I feel like Alex Trebek and Pat Sajak, Jerry Springer, Geraldo Rivera, Maury, these the people that we grew up with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now they getting old and sick and dying and shit.
We grew up with, Ricky Lake and Sally Jesse Raphael, Montel.
See, my grandma ain't never watched none of them.
My mama watched all that.
But I feel you. They all in that same circle.
Yeah.
Montel Williams and shit.
Montel Williams was on. Sally Jesse Raphael and
Ricky Lake. Yeah, they was all on. Yeah.
When Jerry Springer was getting hot.
Yeah.
He kind of fell off. Jerry Springer was the glue between those guys and the new motherfuckers.
Hell no. I wish I was a no good, worthless guy so I could sit at home and watch daytime TV.
Now you got Steve Wilkos and fucking Dr. Oz and Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And Maury. You can't forget Maury.
Maury is never going nowhere.
Maury is so
As long as
bad.
it's a baby mama, it's gonna be a Maury.
Maury is so bad
Yeah.
for the American consciousness.
Yeah, man.
For American pop culture.
Stop watching Maury.
Yeah, y'all. Stop watching Maury.
Go outside. You shouldn't be in the house watching Maury at 11 a.m.
Yeah. Yeah, at 11 a.m., there's other shit to do.
During the week,
Like, if you're in the house at 11 a.m., maybe you should be dusting the vacuum.
like I can't remember the last time I was watching Maury in the crib. Like, unless you sick and bedridden, you should not be watching Maury.
Yeah.
You know, like.
So my go-to when I'm sick and bedridden is The Godfather. I gotta find a DVD player. I don't own a DVD player.
I watched the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, the live action movie.
I got that. I still got that.
1990. It takes me back.
But yeah, I watched the entire 12-hour Godfather.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Use a motherfucker. You can go to sleep and wake up 6 times.
Yeah, I do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what Netflix is for. Don't nobody be watching new shit on Netflix.
Yeah.
You put on The Walking Dead and start that bitch at season 1 and just sleep and wake up.
I never did that shit. I've never watched Walking Dead or Game of Thrones.
Hey, you got to get into one of them, Joe.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
See, I started, my whole TV career started with Breaking Bad.
Mm-hmm.
And then after Breaking Bad, I tried to go watch Weeds, and that shit did not work for me. I did not give a fuck about what they was talking
Oh,
about.
no. I don't,
You know what I'm saying? Well, like, because Breaking Bad was that show.
But you know what's my shit?
And then Sons of Anarchy, that was like my
Yeah,
second.
Sons of Anarchy was great.
You know what I'm saying? That was like, oh, wow, these motherfuckers. But then, like, the last season of that shit got, like, dark.
The only TV show that I watch TV to see is Love and Hip Hop.
I don't watch that shit at all.
I love Love and
I
Hip
love
Hop.
comedy. You know what I'm saying? So, like, Real Husbands of Hollywood.
Nah, I'm not watching
Shit
that
like
mess.
that. That shit is funny. And then when I found out it's improv, so they just got like a scene, and then they gotta make the scene.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's cold. Like Dwayne go hard. Like when there's like Nelly was just like a cool guy, but like Dwayne and fucking and Boris and Nick Cannon, like they was actually.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I enjoyed it when I was watching it, but
they
you know,
creating good scenes.
I can go without it.
Wow, man, that show is funny. I wonder if there's a new season. I don't know anything about anything, so I gotta Google it.
Yeah, man. So yeah, all right. So we ain't got nothing enough to talk about, and we just rambling about TV shows.
Man, this episode has been very introspective, very sad.
We have one every now and again, and it's okay.
I'm sad now.
We'll be happier next week.
You know what I'm gonna do right now?
What that is?
I'm gonna go to the liquor store and grab some beer.
Yeah, we're gonna drink beer and put this episode out.
Yeah.
So y'all enjoy y'all St. Patty's Day, and we gonna do the same thing.
Yeah, man, it's time to get back to this.
Double salute. Oh, other hand.